If you're looking for baseball coverage and basketball coverage for the University of Tennessee, you're coming to the right place for the most comprehensive, best coverage on YouTube. That's the House of Orange. Today I'm going to preview the catchers. I had a preview earlier this week about the pitchers, but I'll get into that in about 20 seconds. Good Wednesday afternoon to everyone out there. I hope you're having a great day. This is Frank Rock. Once again, this is the House of Orange Sports channel on YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the support so far. Thank you for sharing this out, for liking, subscribing. Just a little over 2 weeks in to this channel. Started on New Year's Day. I started it at 12 a.m. I published it. This thing's off to a good start. I'm excited about where I'm going. This thing's just getting going. And had some good feedback out of these basketball videos. Hopefully it'll amp up with baseball right around the corner as well. But let's get right into this thing, guys. Monday, I previewed the pitcher. I started my 2024 season preview of Tennessee baseball with the pitchers. Talked about that, broke down who I feel that it's looking like the weekend rotation will consist of, the options out of the bullpen, guys that are coming in. It's really kind of hard to tell on who was coming in, as you see so many different publications with different rankings on it. Catchers are a lot easier to forecast, though. And I would argue we're looking at the most important position on this field. It's a position Tony Vitello has struggled with ever since Connor Pavolony went to the Orioles here just a few years ago. They've had trouble replacing him at this point. 2 years ago, when they just set all these records with offense and stuff, Evan Russell volunteered, and I thought Evan Russell did an admirable job. That pitching staff was really good that year, and I thought Evan Russell did a good job behind the plate. Didn't get enough credit for what he did and got too much blame for it, because if your time to the plate is slow, it doesn't matter what your pop time is. It can be a sub 2-point pop time. It's not going to matter if it's a slow delivery to the plate. This was a position last year that Tennessee really struggled with. Cal Stark ended up winning out as the year went along, but they had Charlie Taylor and they had Ryan Miller, who ended up transferring to Ohio State. Tony Vitello definitely did not go offensively last year with whom he picked. He actually picked probably the worst offensive guy stats-wise, as they went with Cal Stark, who had a sub-200 batting average. And when they got to the postseason, it was almost like that was an automatic out in the lineup. Ryan Miller had the highest slugging percentage on the team. Granted, it was in a whole lot less at bats. Was his catching that much of a liability? Hard for me to answer that. Same with Charlie Taylor, not an offensive guy. He did have better stats than Cal Stark, albeit with a lot less batting average. Tennessee knew this. They went out and they fixed the problem, at least from an offensive standpoint. They went out and got possibly the best catcher who was in the transfer portal in Cannon Peebles out of North Carolina State. He was a freshman last year. He had a good year. He hit over 350, 13 bombs, around 50 RBIs. Well, you may say, well, why is the guy transferring? Obviously, we're in a portal age, but he was mainly DHing at North Carolina State. And he, unfortunately, stuck behind what is a preseason first-team All-American in Jacob Ozart. So it's going to be hard for him to get on the field again this year. So he's a guy who wants to catch. And opportunity is there for Tennessee. What kind of a catcher is he? We don't know on that standpoint. But as a lot of you guys know in baseball, if you're catching, now I'm talking about in the field, I'm not talking about from an offensive perspective, that is fixed. That part in the lineup where it's almost like it was an automatic out is fixed. That is going to be fixed in the outfield. It felt like when you got to the postseason last year, you almost had two automatic outs. Christian Scott and then Cal Stark. Don't get me wrong, they did. The funny thing, one of the two games I went to and they played South Carolina, both guys homered in the same game. So I don't know if it's like you're out in the desert, no water, and all of a sudden you see a mirage or what. But I feel these spots, and of course, I'll get more into the outfielders later on here in a few days, but you're going to have Cannon Peebles in that lineup. Will Stark or Taylor possibly catch those midweek games? And then they're adding Stone Lawless, freshman out of Huntsville, Alabama. The consensus from what I'm looking at seems to be he's around a four-star prospect. 14 powers, they have him. It's mainly SEC baseball. They have him ranked a four-star, and then Perfect Game has him ranked 244 overall coming in. That's a solid prospect. And then the scouting report, it says from Perfect Game, says advanced physicality and it plays. Refined actions and big arm strength behind plate, fast, impactful swing, big jump coming off the barrel. So it seems this guy has all the tools. Big arm behind the plate. What's his catching ability like, though? Again, you can have a sub-2 pop time, but if you can't catch if you can't catch a good game, it's really kind of irrelevant at that point. Do you know where to line up? Can you help your pitcher? Can you get those calls that are borderline? Those are big aspects of being a catcher. Anybody that's caught knows this. Again, I think a catcher a lot of times is judged on their ability to throw out a runner. That is a big part of it. I've seen it say the philosophy with catcher at Tennessee that, Frank Anderson they're not worried about the base runner. I don't know that that's true because they do throw over to pick off quite a bit. Maybe they're just trying to keep them home at that point, but base runners have had success against Tennessee. You hate to see a team with speed if a pitching staff is not on that day. I'm curious to see how Peebles is behind the plate. Does he help out Drew Beam? Does he help out A.J. Russell? Does he help out this bullpen? Is he able to call a good game? Now, obviously, those calls are going to be coming in from Frank Anderson out of the dugout. But is he able to line up on those corners? Is he able to scout these opponents good? I'm excited to see what Peebles can do. We know the bat is there. He did it in the ACC. Yeah, people say it's not the SEC. The ACC is a very good baseball conference. Very good baseball conference. A lot of good teams. They have at least 2 top 10 teams in the preseason polls right now. No, that's not what the SEC has, but it doesn't matter. That is a strong baseball conference. Peebles is going to be your everyday starter on the weekends, without a doubt. Do they work somebody else in on those midweek games? That remains to be seen. That's always what I'm kind of fascinated with in terms of lineups. And Tony Vitello seems to stick, for the most part, with the same lineup. He makes, minor tweaks here and there. But this is a position that needed upgraded. They've had those issues filling that position. Hopefully they have their answer for at least the next 2 years, as Peebles will be a true sophomore. And hopefully we'll get 2 years out of him. Then he's off to the major league draft at that point. But I'll link it here at the end of the video. If you want to check out my pitchers preview I dropped on Monday, that'll be at the end of the video. I've dropped other baseball videos as well. A lot of basketball content has went out. Recap of the Florida game last night, a big win. Now I'm going to link one of my slides on the outro here. It's going to tell you what is to come. I got lots of content lined up to come. As I've told you guys, and this isn't just speak. This is going to be the most well-rounded, most comprehensive channel on YouTube for Tennessee baseball, for Tennessee basketball, for sure. I don't know that everybody does football. That's everybody's thing. Football is king. But if you want a most well-rounded station, this will be the best that's on YouTube. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange. Make sure you like this. Make sure you share it out. Make sure you subscribe. Great feedback so far. Please leave me some as well. But you guys have a good Wednesday. And as always, go Vols.